was just helmets only, which we normally do on Thursday. We did it today. We'll do it tomorrow because after the open date, we're ahead of schedule. So, today was about trying to gain confidence in the plan, not going backwards with our effort and our focus and all. And I thought it went well. Coach Diaz told me it went well on the defensive field. I thought the offensive field it went well. It's a tribute to our scout team, starting with them, doing a good job on offense, defense, and special teams for that matter. But I thought the focus was there. It's not a super long practice, but when you can split a dress rehearsal day into 2 days like we can here, you don't have to just wear them out. And so we focused on third downs and short yardage, goal line, red zone. Tomorrow we'll do more, end of the game type of stuff. So.
Mark, going back to Georgia, will that be at all emotional, nice? Will there be a lot of family for you? What's that going to be like?
Well, there'll be family there. I don't know if I'll see anybody.
Okay.
Because we'll be having our routine the night before the game and everything. There might be a minute I get to hug everybody's neck real quick, and then of course the game happens real fast in the morning. The next time I'll see them is after the game, like any home or away game. But when you travel, you get on a plane, you get on the bus, you go to the hotel, you take care of business there. You get on the bus, go to the stadium, and you play. I mean, there's not a lot of socializing during that time.
What's the atmosphere like there? You've been there so many times at that Bobby Dodd Stadium.
Oh, they get it going. They get it going. Their students do a great job. Their fan base does a great job, and it is going to be a 180-degree contrast of the scenery around. We were looking at mountains last time we played, and now we'll be looking at mountains of buildings. But both of them have their beauty to it.
How much does your familiarity with Georgia Tech help in preparation? I mean, is it something that is, if everybody else doesn't have that familiarity, does it matter that much?
I don't know if it does. I mean, if you play them year in, year out, you're going to have as much familiarity as anybody else, like in our league. Or, Miami's been playing them every year. It's not like this is a one-time special event. So our players are used to playing Georgia Tech every year. And, I would say this, if I was a defensive coordinator and I was like in the nuts and bolts of every single decision that's made to try to play that offensive system, I would say maybe there'd be an advantage kind of going from where I was to here. But because I'm offense and I've always had to, lean heavily on the defensive coordinators to handle this detail, I don't know if it's a big advantage.
Mark, how worried had you been about what your defensive end play would be when you learned that AQM would not be on the team, and has it fulfilled your expectations without him here? What he's got?
When you coach as long as I have, we talked about attrition. You have attrition in so many different ways. God forbid it could have been an injury that put him out for the year, or somebody. Guys transfer for different reasons. Guys at times, get suspended or whatever it is. So you always have to have the mentality of, who's next and let's go play ball. I mean, what do we have to do to win now has always been my philosophy. If something bad happens, either a holding penalty or something happens with an injured player or whatever it may be, you kind of have to assess where you are, what you have, and what's the best course of action to try to win. And that's all we really focus on.
And pleased with that position even without him?
Oh, they're doing a nice job. The guys are doing a nice job.
Coach, everybody talks about defensively going up against Georgia Tech, but what do you guys want to do offensively against them to help this team be successful?
Well, we put a lot of pride in being able to run the ball well. And really, when people talk about balance for me is if they pack everybody in the box to stop the run, that we must be able to throw good enough in those situations. And if they start double covering our receivers and give us a softer box as far as numbers, we must be able to run the ball. So I think we've got a good mix of that. And then when you add RPOs to that, the run, you come to the line of scrimmage, it might be a run. If they look one way, if they look a different way, you might throw it out there. So I think we're diverse enough in how we do. So really it comes down to, as always, our ability to execute the plays that we call. I think there'll be sound plays. I think guys will have to block and get movement and block and get space for the quarterback as far as a pocket. And quarterback's got to make good decisions and hit their target. Guys got to catch the ball. Probably some tough catches. The closer you get to the red zone or to the goal line, the tighter the windows are, and guys got to make catches with people contesting them and striking them once they catch it. So it's pretty much the same as any other game.
Mark, with you guys going back to Atlanta, is your family fielding a few more phone calls, texts
Oh, we
this
are.
week?
Yeah, we've got, well, my whole family. When I was in Athens, my mom, my dad, my brother, my two sisters, and all their families, we all lived within 10 miles of each other, maybe 5 miles of each other. And everybody's still there, so, you know, most everybody there is going to go to the game. And then there's friends. There was a lot of demand.
Is that going to give it a different feel for you?
Not for me. Not for me. Catherine manages all that, and then, you know, like I said before, you know, we'll fly in, bus to the stadium, do our thing, bus to the, bus from the, not to the stadium, but bus to the hotel, do what we got to do at the hotel, go from the hotel to the stadium, and play, and then, you know, load it up and go back home. It's very, very similar to any other away game.
He's pretty energetic week in and week out, but have you noticed that maybe Marquez is a little bit more excited for it's a return for him too?
Not really, not really. When the ball snapped, he gets excited, but he's a pretty laid-back guy. He's got a little country in him. Not as much as they all, but he's close.
Coach,
Yes.
this is for UMTV, our
Okay.
news TV station here at UM. What do you think about the new practice indoor facility and the donation? And the
I'm so happy. I'm so happy that where we are right now, we're going to be indoors here in a couple of years, and it's going to be beautiful. And I'm really thankful to Carol Sofer and her son Jeffrey and the entire Sofer family to bless us with that lead gift.
Thank you so much.
Mark, I want to ask you, what do you think, what do you expect, I guess, this week out of Anthony, Cortell, and maybe Darian? I know they were kind of dealing with a little bit this year. I mean, this week. Manny talked about them kind of being managing pain, I guess. You know?
Okay, well, and you know, again, there's a difference between pain and an injury, and we think that everybody has something. Usually, everybody has something that hurts a little bit, and some guys have things that hurt a little bit more than others. But almost always, with those kind of injuries, when the adrenaline pumps and the blood flows in a game, you tend to not feel much of anything. If the adrenaline's pumping and their blood's pumping and they're hobbling around, and we'll get them out of the game.
And then Adrian,
question,
I would
guys.
assume Adrian is back to.
Yeah, Adrian's practiced every day for a while now. He's I don't know if he's 100%, but he's 100% going to play. All right, thanks.
Thanks a lot.
All right, y'all welcome.